Hello everyone. In this video, you'll learn to use various Git commands with GitHub. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so uh, first of all, you need to know what are the various scenarios for Git commands. For example, the first scenario will be when you have a new repository, you need to initialize on your computer because that repository was empty. So by setting it up, let's say you have a set of codes that you're ready to send to that repository that which is empty, you will first need to do a git init and then followed by add the files. You can see this is using a dot instead of the usual that is suggested by GitHub. So what dot means is that you are going to commit everything. You want to add everything, and the next command is to set the commit description. So this is the first time you commit, you can write a description like this. And next one is to set the main branch. You want the main branch, and it should be called main. You want it to call main. And then you set the remote, which is the origin where the URL is. Okay, let's say you go to GitHub. When you have a new repository, they will usually give you an uh, URL, and with that URL, you can use it to set to that. And lastly, when you push, you want to push to the main branch. So this set of commands are usually done for the first time when your repository is empty. The next time when you already have file inside the repository, you will only use the git clone command. For example, you are going to another computer or you have codes inside the repository and you just want to take it down to on your computer and your computer doesn't have a copy of it, you will have to use the git clone. Okay. The third scenario will be the updating of a repository. You, for example, you already have cloned it down. You want to update the files and you want to send them to the repository. You will use the add command first, followed by the dot, full stop, dot. Okay, this dot, like mentioned earlier, is for everything, including things that you want to delete away. Okay, so this represent that. Next, you set a description to it. It is important you set a description because 1 month down the road or uh, 1 week down the road, you might not realize what is the commit is for if your description is not clear, uh, especially when you're working with collaborating with people, with colleagues, with team members. So your commit description is very crucial to let everyone know what was the commit for. Lastly, when you send a commit command like this, the commit is just an intention to the repository. So the repository uh, only know that you want to send the files and what is it for. The actual sending of the file is through the git push command. So if you don't do this, the files is still in your local drive lah. Next part is to resolve version conflict. For example, you are working on version 3 or 4, which you are the latest copy. And when you go home to another computer, or a teammate is working at the older version at home, they really have clone, but when they clone, it was version 1. So when they try to add and push, it will have a conflict message saying that they are working on the older version, and then therefore you will need to git pull, okay, to take the latest copy from the repository, and it will merge with your current work that you are working on. Maybe you already have make some changes, it will merge the changes, and after that you can add the changes and commit and then push. So this is to resolve version conflicts. So these are the 4 common scenarios whereby you use the git command. So where to get the URL from GitHub? Okay, so when you create a new repository, they will give you a URL like this, and you will see them in these two places. Okay, the reason why you want to copy is mainly to clone a repository, or you want to set the remote origin for the first time, like this scenario. This is a scenario where you see uh, Git is a new repository. So by going to the code tab, okay, if you have files inside the repository, you will not see this screen. This screen is a situation whereby the repository is empty. Therefore, they suggest to you uh, how to create a new repository or how to push an existing repository on your computer to this location. Okay, but we will focus on creating the new uh, repository. Okay, so now let's take a look at this part. Use git add dot. You can see on this part of it, the suggestion says that git add readme.md is a readme file. Okay, so in this situation, it is only adding one file. So if you commit and push, you will only see this file up into the repository. Therefore, if you want everything, you must use git add dot instead. Okay, so let's take a look at various scenarios for multiple computer. Let's take, for example, I have one computer at work, one computer at home, and I have a laptop that I work on the go. You can also see these as different people working on different computers. Okay, so these are the uh, common scenarios lah. Okay, so let's say this common one is my work computer. Okay, the first time I want to put it in, okay, I need to initialize and then I need to go through all these commands and then I push it up. So the repository will have a version 1 and my computer will also have a version 1 of the commit. Let's say now I go home. Okay, I want to continue to work on it. Uh, I will need to use the Git clone followed by the URL of my repository, and I will have a version 1. So after I got it, I work on it. I will need to update the repository with my changes by using the git add, git commit, indicate this is a second commit, and then I push it up. So inside the repository now is version 2, and my computer, this home computer is actually also having the same version as the repository. Now going back to work, okay, the first thing I must do is to git pull because the version is previously was different. By doing a pull, I will have that latest version in the repository. And then I continue to work on it and then I push it up. So now is version 3 in the repository. Let's say I go out and use another laptop. Which command do you think I should use? Init or pull or clone? Okay, so let's take a moment to think about this. Okay, what do you think is the command to use? Okay, the answer is actually to clone because this computer doesn't have any copy of it. Therefore, cloning it will allow me to take the latest version, which is version 3, onto my computer, my laptop. So now let's look at the second computer at home. Okay, let's say I go to use it. What should the command be for my situation if I want to continue to work on it? Okay, so the actual answer is to pull. Okay, I'm going to pull the latest version. So now across all, this computer shares the same version as the rest. And then when I do a add and then I do a commit, this will be the fourth commit. Then I push it up. So it will be the version 4 in the repository. So the latest version now in the repository is version 4. And if I want to work on the other computer, I will need to update too because they are having an older version. Okay, so that's it for this session. Okay, if you want to learn more about programming, do subscribe okay below for other content. Thank you.